Hey everybody, welcome back to the vlog. Thank you once again for joining me for tea time. I'm so glad that you're all here, hanging out with me, talking tech, talking cameras, whatever it is, just chilling out with me. I appreciate it. Today, we have some misty morning. This is probably one of my favorite get up and go teas. Really, really good. Today, we're going to be talking about the hottest cameras in the last decade. What is the hottest camera in the last 10 years? The sexiest camera in the last 10 years. So before we get into it, you guys have been asking me a lot about what is it do I do besides this channel, right? Well, I am a commercial photographer, so I do a lot of commercial work, but for fun, let's just say, I actually show my work at a bunch of different galleries and I sell my black and whites, my fine art prints. So I wanted to show you some of them going forward, and I think I might display them behind me. This sexy one right here is one of them that I've had out there for a bit, and we've had a lot of sales on her. There's just a lot of different images that I do for my fine art work, and they're just usually a little bit different. If you looked at this image up close, you'll see something strange about it, and a lot of people don't see it, but some people will. So everything has a little bit of a twist behind it. That's how I shoot my fine art work. And then when I go to the events to actually have drinks and cocktails with the people, the patrons of that gallery, I can talk about the images and tell them exactly what is going on in them. And that usually gives a little bit something for me to talk about with them, and they kind of get brought into the image a little bit. So that is a 40 by 30 image, not printed with like a Epson or something like that. It's not blown ink. It's actually a chemical print. All of my fine art work is done on highest quality papers, and they are chemically printed. That's just what I do. That's what I like to do. Anyways, so that's it. I'm going to just start showing you some of them. You've been asking me for it, and that's what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll throw one or two up every once in a while behind me so you can see what they look like. So anyways, getting right into this hottest camera of the decade, I thought this was really interesting. This is from the BCN Rankings. They basically took the sales performance of cameras, of digital SLRs from January 2010 all the way up to November of 2019. So let's just call it 10 years of data. And I find it very fascinating. Not that the cameras are anything special to me, but there's a lot of nuances that I see in there that might show the way, all right? A way to read the tea leaves, so to speak, like I always say, on where we're going as a photographic community, all right? So let me start out with number 10, and I'll work my way up to that number one hottest, sexiest camera out there, right? Number one sales. So starting in the 10th position is Nikon's D5100, and that was released in April 2011. Next, we have in 9th position, we have the Nikon D3200 that was released in May of 2012. The 8th position goes to Canon with the EOS 60D, which was released September of 2010. So that's got a lot of time. That's 10 years. I look at that, I'm like, wow, 10 years from the 60D? I'm getting old, people. I'm getting old. Anyways, Nikon D3100 comes into 7th position. That is September of 2010. And then finally, we see a Sony camera in the 6th position. That is the Sony A6000. What's interesting here is that is the only Sony camera that we see. Now that was released though on March 2014. I'll tell you why that is significant to me in just a minute. Now next in the 5th position, we have Canon back with the EOS 550D. And for all of you on the other side of the pond, you'll probably call it a KISS X4. That was released in February of 2010. Once again, nearly a decade ago. Next, in the 4th position, we have the Nikon D5300. That's coming in on November 2013. And then in the 3rd position, we have another Canon with the EOS 700D. Once again, for all of you guys on the other side of the pond, that is the KISS X7i. Now, that is April 2013 when that was released. And now we have the second place winner with, once again, a Canon EOS. That's the 600D, which is the X5. That was March 2011 when that came out. And finally, the number one position, the best, the sexiest, the hottest selling camera in the last decade is the Canon EOS Rebel SL1, or you guys will know it overseas as the KISS X7. That was released in April 2013. So we see Canon, 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 Nikon, 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 and one Sony. Basically, that's how it looks. So as we can tell, Canon has been doing really, really well in the last decade. Now, how they're going to move forward, we don't know. They've been doing great, better than everyone else. Nikon was always in second place, and then came everyone else, all right? I feel like things are changing a little bit. Now, we only have one mirrorless camera, and that, of course, is from Sony. So we have 9 DSLRs and 1 mirrorless. Now that Sony a6000 has been doing phenomenal, guys, phenomenal. Remember, that was released 4 years after many of these other DSLRs were in 2014, and yet it's already in the 6th position. I think that is very noteworthy. That shows how well Sony is doing with these APS-C cameras. Now, APS-C, guys. APS-C is a key word here. Every single unit here is an APS-C camera. They're not micro four thirds and they're not full frame. On this channel, I talk a lot about full frame, but like I said in a couple of videos ago, I might change that up a little bit. I'll talk about full frame for all of my professionals that are listening, but the majority of you guys are not professionals. You are pro-ams. The majority of you guys are most likely using APS-C cameras. So I want to definitely give you guys a little bit more attention than I have in the past, all right? So the other thing that I see that's really important here is that mirrorless is doing as well as it has. We're seeing mirrorless at about 49% of sales, and we have the other 51% is DSLRs. And that is as of today, 2020 January. I feel like this is going to change. My question to you guys is, do you think that we're going to see mirrorless overtake DSLRs in the next year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? Will it take that long? How quick do you think it'll happen? It'll definitely happen. Or will it? Could it be that one of the manufacturers come up with a hybrid that no longer requires people to make that choice between mirrorless or DSLRs? Something that is as good as each other, but in one unit, a hybrid. Is that a possibility? I want to get some input from you guys, all right, and see what you think. So, like I said, the number one winner is, once again, Canon. Canon's been doing really well. But what I do think is also interesting here is where we see Nikon in that second position. I've always said Nikon and Canon are like one body with two legs. Canon would take a step forward, and then Nikon would take a step forward, and then Canon, and then Nikon. That's how the industry has moved forward over the past decade, right? Well, I think Sony is that third leg. You know what I mean? I think things are changing. It's not about Canon and Nikon anymore. It's about Canon, Nikon, and Sony. And I think in the very near future, we're going to see that it's going to be Canon and Sony on that body, taking that step forward and the next and the next, all right? And Nikon becoming that third leg, that appendage that hopefully doesn't fall off. All right. I hope they start doing well, but they haven't been doing great as of late. But we will see what ends up happening. I want to know from you, once again, what do you think about mirrorless to DSLRs? What do you think about this list and how it is structured? And do you think that that KISS X7 or the SL1 is a very interesting camera, one that the majority of the world has picked up over the last decade, that Rebel SL1? So guys, I hope you enjoyed this content, a little bit of tidbit stuff, a little bit of my fine art photography that I do, that I sell in galleries. Just wanted to have a little bit fun here for the first week of January. in the comment area below. Put your questions, comments, suggestions, anything for future videos. I appreciate that. Let's go ahead and discuss this topic at hand about mirrorless to DSLRs and where these cameras place and what do you think about all of this data. And then finally, when you're done discussing it down here in YouTube's comment area, go over to community.JCristina.com. Once again, it's community.JCristina.com. When you go over there, join. It's free. It is my Discord server. It is a creative Discord server that I created for you guys, basically, and me, so we can go ahead and have this conversation. There's so many just amazing people over there with a ton of information. And the beauty of it is fully archived and searchable. So if you write something in there, it's there in perpetuity, right? It's there forever. That is awesome, and it's fully searchable, like I said. Anyways, community.jcristina.com. Don't forget to pick up my teas over at darkmoonteas.com. Grab my free ebook for the new year. That's over at jcristina.com/ebook. Don't forget to use my 20% off discount for all of you YouTube subscribers using coupon code or promo code YT20 at checkout. Put anything and everything you want in your shopping cart over at jcristina.com, and you get it for 20% off just for being here. Don't forget to throw me a big thumbs up if you enjoy the content, and slam that subscribe button so you get all my content when it becomes available, and click the bell icon so when it is available, you will be notified of it. And finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools that I've invented for you and me over the years, and hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me and my family. Once again, many blessings to each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. We'll see you soon. Take care.